Hey, this is Stephen Whitesides from Greenbrier Music. I am playing today on a Ludwig Legacy Series kit. It is a pretty sweet 3-ply maple with reinforcement hoops, and I know we've done Legacy videos before. This time we're shooting on a 10, a 12-inch, a 14 floor tom. It's a 14 by 12, a little shallower than we usually stock, and a 14 by 16. Also a shorter floor tom. So what does that do for us? Well, the shorter air column on this floor tom is going to be a little easier to tune. They're going to be a little brighter. They're not big, giant, earthy bass drums of floor toms. But this bass drum does all the work you need. It's 22, and it comes off really clean, really crisp for a bass drum. There's a lot of attack here. It is not a big, giant, booming cannon sort of thing. It's kind of the John Bonham sort of sound, a bass drum that pops a little bit, it's got strong mids, and a nice after presence of lows, but the decay is super short. Nothing in the bass drum, just using stock heads and the whole kit all around. And a nice quick easy tune-up. We're going for like a mid to high tuning range here for what a Legacy can do. We have other videos, I believe, in the past where we've gone for the super low tuning range, and that's great. I just wanted to show off the versatility of the Legacy series. One of my favorite things about the series has to do with the rest of Ludwig USA drums. Because a lot of the finishes cross over, you can get the same white sparkle wrap in classic maple or even keystone. You could conceivably, if you wanted to get wild, do something like a classic maple, which would be a 6-ply, thinner shell, drum, shorter sustain, a little brighter, gong bass. Or you could build a monster kit where you had, I don't know, 3 8-inch toms, a classic maple, a keystone, and a Legacy, and have a lot of fun. Another important thing about Legacy is that there's a huge update of features. The mounts here are the new Atlas mounts. They basically replace one lug on your drum, and they give this kit a cool retro feel. Some of you guys may remember 70s, 80s series drums had brackets drilled directly into the shell. It's going to change how the drums feel to play. Let's take a look at this. This is about all the give we get. When you guys play on those hoop mounts, the Starcast from Tama, Ludwig has their hoop mount, Gretsch is all hoop mounts all the time. You guys are going to notice your toms, they play all over the place. Then you get to your floor tom, hard as a rock, kind of annoying. You know, you're really trying to time things, your drums up here are moving freely, they have a lot of give, so you're pulling your sticks out of the head a lot more. Then you get down here, and you got to do a little more work, because it's like playing on a brick. Well, that's an interesting thing, that because the floor toms are also using the same consistent Atlas mount for the legs, you get a really cool consistent feel on this kit. You can get the same sound out of a Legacy you get out of a Gretsch USA or out of a DW Collectors. They're all very similar shell construction. It's a heavy, thick maple shell. Doesn't matter if you're using a Gretsch 8-ply or using a 3-ply Legacy. It's the total shell density and the bearing edge that really matter. And these have a nice rounded sound with a lot of focused lows and mids. Kind of the opposite of birch, but not quite so deep as a Babinga or a Wenge. But they are rather versatile, very tunable. You've got triple flanged hoops, not die cast. They're a little lighter. Makes them a little harder to tune at first, but let's face it, it really matters what they sound like when you get them in tune, right? So we've got a pretty awesome all-around kit here. I love the new bass drum spurs. They're very stable. No bass drum wandering around on me or anything like that. It's really firmly rooted. The kit overall feels super to play on. Things I would complain about, if you really do want to pull into highs, play some Latin or play certain flavors of jazz, etc., these drums, they feel weird and kind of, because they don't give a whole lot, when you really, really crank the heads and the toms, if you wanted to go to a high tuning range, I don't feel like they're very strong there. You can get the sound you want with the right head selection. I'm just not a fan of the way they feel to play. If you're looking for a mid to low rock and roll tuning range, or you're going for classic rock, like real early vintage dirty jazz sounds, you can pull that out of Legacy, absolutely. If you're looking for pop, funk, etc., you may not get the sustain out of Legacy you want unless you drop to clear single-ply heads. Then you can get it. Throw an EMAD on the kick drum, you'll get that hip-hoppy woomph long sustain, whereas the stock heads here have a really short sustain. But I really don't think that's what this kit's for. If you're into rock, you're into classic rock, and you're doing a little bit of versatility, maybe with a church, something doing like pop covers in a bar, this is a great kit. And one of the coolest things about a short sustain, super easy to record. Super easy. So if you're considering a USA-made kit that's in the price range of $2,000 to $5,000, right now I would say, since Ludwig got their quality control issues from the late 90s totally under control, I would say Ludwig is your best bet. Nobody else has a kit that can touch this in that price range that's USA made. That's all for today. Just so you know, I'm playing UFIP Cymbals, and we have the Sabian Greenbrier ride on this kit, and a Toka cowbell I didn't really feel the need to use today. Have a great day.